An evergreen ornamental grass that's so good it should be in everybody's garden. Well, that's a pretty bold statement, I hear you say. But you know what? It's true. Hello, I'm David Wilson, and I'm here at Over the Vest Nurseries on a beautiful spring morning, standing next to a little ornamental sedge called Carex Feather Falls. Now, this is one that we've been growing here on the nursery for about 6 years or so, and it's one that has just continually impressed us during that time for a whole bunch of reasons. Now, we well know how beautiful and really useful ornamental grasses are. Most of the ones that we grow in the garden are, as you see, herbaceous, and that means that what we need to do now at this time of year in spring is to go through and just trim off the old grass here to make way for the new grass leaves that are coming through from underneath. Most of them, of course, are grown for their ornamental plumes that they carry during the summertime and in the fall. But this little grass, on the other hand, is important because this one is first of all evergreen, so it keeps its leaves during the whole entire year. It's also got attractive variegated foliage that really stands out during the whole year. And what's more, it is remarkably vigorous. This is what we really like about this variety. Compared to some of the other existing sedges that are on the market, which are very good too, this is hands down the most vigorous variety that we've ever grown. Add to that the fact that this variety can be grown here out in full sun. It will do well in a partially shaded site, and it will also do well where a lot of other sedges grow, and that is in woodland conditions and shady conditions and in moist soil. It grows well in a well-drained soil or in a moist soil. And quite literally, you can grow this in all types of gardens, from inner city town areas to suburban gardens to out in the country and out into woodland gardens. And some of the biggest reasons for considering growing it in my book is that, first of all, it's very easy to grow. The second thing is that it requires very little maintenance. And thirdly, and probably one of the strongest reasons in this region, is that normally they're not troubled by deer. So all in all, that's why I wanted you to know about it this morning. And whether you're an experienced gardener or just a beginner growing plants for the first time, I think you'll find that you're going to enjoy good success with it. And in fact, if you don't have a garden, you can still grow this because it does really well in containers. So if you have a balcony, a deck, or a porch or something like that, and you want to grow a plant in a container that's going to spill down over the edge and give you evergreen foliage, then of course this is going to be perfect for that too. I'll add that now, at this time of year in springtime, you're looking at it at the worst possible time of the year. You see, because it's evergreen, it's been out here all year through, all summer, all autumn, all winter, buffeted by the winds. So now, as you see, the foliage is just now beginning to look a little tatty here on the end because of all of that exposure during the entire year. If you look closely too, you'll see that it's carrying its flowers now. They're pushing up through out of the crown of the plant. Some people make a big deal about this, but to be honest with you, I don't really see a whole lot of ornamental merit in it. It flowers now in springtime, pushing up these shoots that come out first as little feathery brownish or light brownish colored plumes, and then as they develop they form these seed heads, which as you see bring a certain degree of texture, I suppose, to the plant. But really it's the variegated foliage that's now rising out from the crown that makes this plant so attractive and so useful. And so now at this time of year, just like I was doing a few moments or two with the herbaceous grasses, this is the time to go in and trim off all of this old grass that's around the perimeter of the plant to make way for the new foliage that's going to emerge from the crown. Now, it's not absolutely essential that you go through and do this. You could just leave them as they are. You'll find then the young foliage will emerge from the center, it'll spill out, and it will still look good. But now at this time of year, if you get in and remove that old foliage, it just gets rid of the little dead tips that are here on the edge of the shoot, and really gives it the opportunity to be out and fresh and clean looking and show off this lovely crisp variegation that's on there. Now, as I was doing a moment or two ago, you could go in with a pair of hand pruners and just like I'm doing here, just trim back some of that foliage back to about 4 or 5 inches or so away from the crown, just quite literally cutting it off. Or you could do it with a pair of hedging shears, a nice sharp pair of hedging shears, as you see. But I find with this that the cleanup takes a little longer whenever I'm busy doing the various chopping. But I find that for me the easiest and most effective way is to use a sharp knife and to simply grab a handful of the foliage, and then you can gather this and put it into some sort of receptacle so that the cleanup is much easier. So as you see, what I'm doing is I'm gathering a bunch of the foliage, and then with a knife, and making sure that you keep your hand out of the way, just go in like this, and that really gives you a nice, quick and easy way to get it trimmed back. This is an old technique that probably goes back thousands of years to whenever they didn't have things like hedging shears and hand pruners and so on. You can really do quite a lot with a nice sharp knife, and as you see, it makes a good clean cut, and that means then that your plant will get off to a really good start, and in no time at all, when it produces its young growth from the center here, you're going to have a beautiful cascading crisp white variegation that comes with this evergreen foliage, and you'll be able to enjoy its graceful elegance. And now, as you see, I've trimmed back all 5 plants here into these tight little hummocks. There's no reason at all, of course, why you couldn't use a mechanical pruner if that's what you want, or indeed even chop it back with a weed whacker. It's so tough and reliable, you could probably do that. But I just find that by chopping it off by hand, it's a little easier in the cleanup department. So after you get them trimmed back like they are here now, it's really then just a matter of going through and putting down a little bit of slow release fertilizer. It's a granular fertilizer, as you see here, a well balanced formulation of nitrogen, potash and phosphate, and I'm applying about an ounce or so to the square yard. Just sprinkle it around the outside of the plants like I'm doing here now, and then you'll find that that will help to produce nice lush foliage in a very short time. And then after you put down the fertilizer, one thing that I would suggest to you that's very important, and that is that while The plants here are really quite drought tolerant once they get established. They do much better if they have plenty of available soil moisture during the summertime, especially when they're out here in a full sunny site. So therefore, put down a good deep layer of mulch, a couple of inches or so around each of the plants. That of course will help to tidy things up, but more importantly than that, this will help to keep the roots cooler and keep the soil moisture up there too, so that they're going to put on a lot of nice luxuriant growth. So, as I hope you can see, this really is a very good, very useful, very attractive and easy to grow little plant that should be in everybody's garden. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us and it's very good for our environment too.